Hi, welcome to Talkin Business. I'm Joe Catrambone, CEO, Stewart Martin County Chamber of Commerce, and I'm happy today to have one of our dream team, Gina Masters, who is our program coordinator for Career Connect Martin County. And I've invited Gina here today to talk a little bit about our program, but I want to give a little background before I turn it over to Gina. And I'll make this as short as possible. But in 1989, the number one complaint from our members at the Stewart Martin County Chamber of Commerce is they couldn't hire people. There was no workforce. We took a poll again in 2019. We took other polls too, but another poll in 2019 showed the same problem. We had a lack of a workforce. Because of ARPA funds and because of George Stokas, our deputy county administrator, who had received ARPA funds and knew our plight trying to get employees for our members, he suggested that we present the county with it started out as a grant, it ended up as a contract to solve the workforce development issue. And so through that, we put together Career Connect Martin County. Angela Hoffman is our program director, I believe. Is it? What do we call her? She's our director of operations and workforce development. But we hired Gina because she had previous experience and she hit the ground running. And I told her yesterday, if it were not for her and her expertise, we would have got through launching this program, but there would have been many bumps in the road that she smoothed out, and I thank you for that, Gina. So your expertise is great. You fit right in. You're part of the dream team. It's a great team. You know, I always brag about you and how proud I am of our staff. So why don't you introduce yourself?
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get into what you do with Career Connect.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for having me here this morning. It's a pleasure, and it's an honor to work with the entire team over there at the Stewart Martin Chamber. But I came from a previous workforce development program as well, so I did have some experience in that. And when I heard about the opportunity to apply and have such a position, I was very excited to come and join Angela as part of the dream team with the Career Connect Martin program. It was exciting for me to launch a new program. You know, my previous experience was in workforce development in a program that was already established. So having that background was helpful, but being able to start something from the ground up is really exciting. And
It's challenging for sure.
it
Right?
sure is. It comes with its challenges for sure. But it's been a great opportunity to, work with all of our businesses, local businesses, and our job seekers. But the Career Connect Martin program is a grant-funded program, like Joe mentioned, that came down from the Board of County Commissioners with ARPA dollars. And our objective is to try to help resolve the issue of lack of employees for local employers. So what we're trying to do now is connect the local employers with people that are looking for new jobs and some entry-level positions. The grant works to cover 120 training hours, so the employer has the opportunity to train a new employee, while the grant covers the first 3 to 4 weeks of work at $15 an hour. So it gives someone an opportunity to make some additional dollars if they're unemployed or underemployed. So that's what we're trying to do is to fill that gap.
So and it's $15 an hour, and it's basically what I tell people. I know it's not really 4 full weeks, but in essence it is. It's we are providing a member or a business in Martin County, and it is a Martin County program. An employee for 4 weeks that we will pay $15 an hour while they're training, and of course we vet the employer as well as the employee. And obviously, the employer must have a position available so that if that trainee completes his 4 weeks, and he's suitable to the employer, he or she is suitable to the employer, they have a job waiting for them.
Correct.
So that's the vetting process we do with the employer. But we vet also, and Gina, I don't want to steal your thunder. Tell them how we vet an employee and what we do, and about the resumes and the things that the gyrations you go through to help these people.
Right. So on the front end of it, prior to them being placed with the employer, I sit with them. I work with them to do either write a resume or to update a resume if they already have one established. We do some soft skills training. We talk about interview skills, how to dress for an interview. I help prepare them to become more employable. They do a DISC profile assessment, which is a really big integral piece of the program.
Absolutely.
The DISC profile, for those folks that aren't aware, is like a personality profile. It helps us understand a little bit more about the person and what type of job they would be a good fit for.
Does the employer go through the with
Yes.
Tim too also?
Yes, the employer,
So-
also the supervisor that is going to be training the employee, also takes a supervisor DISC profile, so they can understand better how to communicate with their employee, how their employee understands, and helps to build a better relationship between the employee and the employer.
Okay, so tell us, where are the bumps in the road from both ends, from the employer's perspective and the trainee's perspective? What are the bumps in the road that, and we know what they are, but I want you to talk about it.
Well, there's some requirements which come with any type of program, as far as getting some paperwork completed prior to placing an employee with the employer. So I anticipated what demographic of people I would be looking for jobs, and what type of employers we would need for these positions. And with mitigating through the program, I've recognized that there's a different demographic of people that are looking for jobs. It's a much more broad spectrum of industries, and the people that are looking for jobs as well. So I've been working with local employers to try and make sure that they get all that paperwork completed and come on board as one of our employers. But it's come with its challenges. Sometimes it's difficult.
Well, the thing that's most frustrating to me is, and I know it's redundant, but out of our 14 or 1,500 members, I would dare to say that 75 to 80% of them say they're looking for an employee. They
Absolutely.
need help. They can't hire help. And so the employer, from my perspective, and I'm on the outside looking in, you and Angela handling the grunt work, but from what I've heard in our discussions is the employer doesn't want to take the time to fill out the paperwork, and we've got probably a half a dozen out there right now that we're waiting for them to complete paperwork, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So and then we've had the employer who they want to short circuit the problem, the procedure, and say, I don't want to go through that, just send me somebody, I want to interview them. Well, that's not how the program works.
Right.
And if we short circuited that program, then it's not eligible for ARPA funding, correct?
Right.
Okay.
We have specific guidelines that we have to stick within.
Exactly. And so it's human nature, it just seems everybody wants everything handed to them, but they don't want to take the effort on their end to go through the procedure, which we're bound to by contract and by law.
Right.
So that's the biggest issue that surprised me.
Mm-hmm.
Because from the beginning, I said, where are we going to get these trainees?
Mm-hmm.
We were the Great Resignation. Who wants to work? So that was my concern right from the get-go, and I expressed that concern. And I think that's come to fruition because we are having trouble getting trainees. And in fact, we've reverted to second chance employees, correct?
Correct.
So let's talk a little bit about that. So what are the gyrations you go through to recruit trainees? How do you go? What do you do? How do you do that?
Well, we've put some, some of the monies into some, marketing. So we've utilized a lot of social media, Facebook. We did put an ad out on Indeed as well. We reach out to our other community organizations to try and have a partnership with them, so that if they find somebody that needs, some skills and is looking for employment, that they can refer them our way as well. So we've been working with some community agencies. Lisa Dames with Reverse the Door. She's been a great referral source for us. And of course, the ladies from Florida Restorative Rights Coalition with Geraldine and Gail. And just other participants getting the word out to their friends and family has also helped us to get some new job seekers. But yes, we have opportunities for people who need a second chance employer, which means that maybe they've previously, they have a record and they struggle to find employment. We have a whole group of employers that are part of our team that accept people who are looking for a second chance employer.
And we're not sending people murderers.
No.
So it
No,
might
no,
be
no.
someone who didn't pay child support and did some jail time, or
Right.
or a DUI.
It's the felony charges that are an issue when people are seeking employment,
Yeah,
that the employers
right.
kind of, back away from. So we're trying to help those employers to essentially hire, train, and retain employees.
And you do a great job at that. Thank you for that.
Thank
so, how many people have you placed, and how many people are in the process?
Well, currently, up to date, we've enrolled 25.
Trainees.
Correct.
Okay.
We've placed 12 of them. I currently have 5 that are waiting to be placed, and some don't make it to the point of employment. I do the resume with them, and they'll meet with Tim to do the DISC profile assessment, and for various reasons, they don't end up getting employed. Maybe they found another job. Sometimes they have other barriers. That's also, part of the program is for us to help eliminate some of those barriers with childcare and with transportation. So we have
But
some
don't-
dollars worked into that.
Okay, but in the vetting process, don't we see those barriers ahead of time, or do we think that we could work them out?
Well, sometimes, and some have been placed and weren't able to successfully complete for multiple different reasons too. So, you take the good with the bad as far as.
Yeah, you're not going to get
Everybody's not
100% of
gonna-
anything.
right.
Yeah.
But
But
the majority of those that have been placed,
our success
been-
rate has been pretty good.
yes, absolutely. We have the majority of those that have been placed and successfully completed have been hired by those employers as well.
If there's a message that you could relay to our members who need employees, what is that message? What would you tell them if one-on-one? What would you tell them to?
Well, a lot of what I do also is help them through that process. I mean, the paperwork to be completed might be about 15 minutes of your time. So on the front end, you give that time, and in the long run, we're helping to find you a long-term employee. So it's a benefit to the employer to join on. I mean,
it's give and take. It's
the cost of training an employee is expensive for employers.
Oh yeah.
So this helps to mitigate that cost by us paying the employee while they train them. Are they showing up on time? Are they teachable? Do they ask questions? Things like that are all things that they're going to learn in the process during the training. And then once it's completed, if it's a good fit for the employee and the employer, they sign right on as a full-time employee. So I would encourage any business, if they're looking for employees, to sign on, as an employer with us.
Is there anything, and this probably isn't even possible, but just for my own edification, is there anything that we could suggest to change the procedure where it either shortens the time for the employer or eliminates a step that the employer has to take? Because it seems to me like it's a time issue with the employer. We know how busy everyone is. And for an employer to leave his place of business, come to our office, be vetted by Tim Kinane, go through that process, is there anything that you think we could do or that is possible? What would ease that?
Well, we've worked with some employers who have issues, leaving a job site. They can't leave it unsupervised. So we did, with some of the employers, we did their disc profile by Zoom, where they could do it from their shop or wherever they're located to try to eliminate that travel time. And, I also assist them with writing a job description if they need it.
I know that. I've seen what you do. I know, and that's what a great service.
Thank you.
Could we be mobile?
Certainly.
So could we go to the employer and do everything at their place of
Yep,
business?
absolutely.
Of course, I don't think we're going to get Tim to travel there, but that could be done remotely, right?
Yes. Yeah,
So are
that
we
piece can be
offering that to employers?
Sure, I've
that we
traveled
could
out to
come to your
employers.
place and do it?
Yes, and I would absolutely be willing to do that.
Okay, maybe, is that something that you're sharing with the employer when you're talking with them, that we could come to you, or?
I have. I mean, if the issue comes up or the question comes up, I absolutely have. So anybody that's out there that's looking,
Yeah.
I can come to you and bring all the paperwork, and that helps me as well to see the facility of where the person would be placed and working, so I can get a better idea as well.
It's really troublesome to me because, again, and here I go being redundant again. All of our members say we need help. We need help. We've got 4 resumes that I'm looking at of people who want to work, and we can't place them. It's mind-boggling to me that here we are. Everybody's crying for employees. Here we got 4 of them. They've been vetted. They're ready to go. We're going to pay you 4 weeks. How about doing your part? Fill out the paperwork, and we'll send you an employee. But it's frustrating at best.
It is. It is. But when you have those successes and those people that you're able to help, and those businesses that you've been able to help find good employees,
That's as good as it gets.
right?
Yeah.
That's what keeps you going.
Yeah. Well, Gina, thank you. I do this with everyone. Is there anything that I missed? Should we talk about something or is there something you want to talk about that we haven't talked about?
No, I think we've covered everything.
Okay. Well, good.
Thank you.
Well, good. And I love having you on the Dream Team, and I'm glad that you came. And I'll see you back at the office.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay.